Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video we are going to learn how to replace our background. We already have learned how to blur the background, but in this video we are going to learn how to replace the background, just like the Me and other big application that has this function. So to begin with, we are going to add the dependencies that we need, which is the coil. Otherwise we have the segmentation selfie in our application. So we use the coil to load the background image. Simple as that. Now let's add the library down here, and inside the build.gradle file, I should add the implementation of the coil. Just like that. But right here, rather than having only one filter storage, we want to have another dialog to set up the background image or to select the background image. Now, while we are building the application, I'm going to head to the persistence package and add my background storage. So it's working the same as the other storage. It will use the shade prefs and store the location of the URL of the image that we want to use as the background. Now I have this background scale mode inside my processor class. Let's add it here. Yeah, you can see we have center crop and scratch. So inside this one, I'll import my background scale mode. So all we do is that we run a dialog to check the URI of the background and of course the scale mode to be center crop or be fit. So let's go and add background UI state. So inside the states package, I'll add this background UI state. It's like the other states, has a scale mode option and on the URL peaked and other stuff that we created for the watermark picture. So now let's add the background dialog inside the components and import stuff that we need. So you'll see this UI in a moment when I run the application. Now, this is the original application. So this is the background image option that we want to set up. You can see there is a pick an image. If we pick an image, I think, yeah, it's going to be shown here using coil. And here's the scale mode that we can set it up to scratch or center crop. So we are setting this thing and the clear button, of course. And then we want to add it inside this menu. So let's close the original version of this application that I've created before and go back to our source code. Now that we have created our dialog, it's time to add it inside our main screen. So let's open the main screen class, and down below other states, I want to create the background state and make it remember background UI state, and the initial value of it is going to be remember background storage dot load using context. Of course we have to pass the value for everything. So let's go down below all of the dialogs and add this background state. So background state instead of bg state, I just copy and paste. Okay, so we need to add this reload background settings inside our view model, and from the view model to the WebRTC factory class. Let's create it also here, and we will come back to this one later. Let's go back to the main screen, and of course pick bg launcher is almost the same as we want to do for watermark. So let's go top here. So I'll copy and paste the new launcher here, and it should be the background state. So when we pick a new URI for the background, it should be updated inside this background state class. Now, who should update the state of this to show the background dialog? It's actually the top bar again. We're going to add a new section inside our top bar. First, we want to add the callback of it. So on background image, and then add a drop down menu item here that calls the background image. Now let's go here and set up the new callback here. Background should be able to launch block and use background state and set the show dialog to true. Now we know how to show the background dialog, set up the state of the background image and the scale mode. It's time to add the menu item as we did before for the other filters. So let's go to the filter storage, add a new key here and like this here. Same goes for load and save. This is the last one. Now let's go to the filters UI state, create a state for our replace background. And of course for the initial load, I'll add it again here. And for the filters dialog, we wanna add a new filter title down below everything. And for the replace background, I'll simply use it from the state. Now it's time to go and add it inside the pipeline. So as usual, we use an instance of it, and inside the enabled class, I'll add the value of it here. And of course, we need a background params for the new variable from this process function. So let's update it like this. And after the last condition, I'll set this condition like this. And of course, make sure that we close this replace object. Now let's go to our WebRTC factory class. And on top of it, we wanna add the variables for the replace background. Add the filter replace background variable like this. And inside the reload background configs, we wanna do this. I wanna also write a new function named reload background config, which I had it before down here. Yep. And I'm going to add this function down here to load the bitmap inside that. Now let's go back up to the init function. Make sure you call reload background config. And now it's time to go to process function. And for the filter background, pass filter replace background. What's the name of it? Replace background. And we miss one more parameter here, which is bg. And I'm going to pass it like this. So it looks like we are ready to use this replace background. Let's run our application again. And while running, let's take a look at the background replace effect. So it's pretty much doing the same as the blur. It will detect our mask or our body and face, and it's going to crop the pixels out of the image and then write our face and body pixels on top of the background image that we just provided to the application as the background image. So our app is running right now. Let's press call. Let's go and disable the previous one. Set background to true because we don't have a background. Now let's go to the background image, pick an image. I'll use the banana, center crop. You can see that my background is a banana right now. And if I change it to the scratch, the banana should be, filled inside my background. And we can also clear this image to go back to the previous one. And that's how you replace your background using ML Kit Segmentation library. And of course, that's the last video of this series. So hopefully you have learned something out of this series. If you have any sort of question, you can drop a comment down below inside the comment section. And if you need some helps to develop or assistance for your project, such a project like this, you can contact me using my email address CodeWithKael@gmail.com or reach me out inside Instagram or Telegram with the same user ID CodeWithKael. So hopefully you have enjoyed watching this series. Till the next tutorial, see you everyone.